In this video, we will review lists and sets within the Java programming language. In this lesson, we're going to take a look at the list interface and the set interface. Interface collection is a root interface in the collection hierarchy from which interfaces set, queue, and list are derived. Interface set defines a collection that does not contain duplicates. A list, sometimes called a sequence, is an ordered collection that can contain duplicate elements. Let's take a look at a few examples of using the list interface. Like array indices, list indices are zero-based, meaning that the first element is indexed at 0. In addition to the methods inherited from collection, list provides methods for manipulating elements via their indices, manipulating a specified range of elements, searching for elements, and obtaining a list iterator to access the elements. Interface list is implemented by several classes including ArrayList, LinkList, and Vector. Class ArrayList and Vector are resizable array implementations of list. Inserting an element between existing elements of an array list or vector is an inefficient operation. All elements after the new one must be removed out of the way, which could be an expensive operation in a collection with a large number of elements. A linked list enables efficient insertion or removal of elements in the middle of a collection. When to use the vector over an array and why? Vectors are synchronized. Any method that touches the vector's contents is thread safe. ArrayList, on the other hand, is unsynchronized, making them therefore not thread safe. With that difference in mind, using synchronization will incur a performance hit. So if you don't need a thread-safe collection, use the ArrayList. Why pay the price of synchronization unnecessarily? Let's run this code here. I have a vector and I'm adding elements 1 and 2. We can create a list from an existing array by using array.asList method. Let's demonstrate that with this example here. We have a string of colors of an array, and we're going to pass it to the arrays.asList to be able to get a list back. Why use an array list over an array? An array is a fixed length sequence of values of the same type, which can be either an object type or a primitive type. The size of the array has to be declared in advance and all the elements have to be the same type. When we do not know how many elements we will use or we want to store elements of different object types, we may prefer using an array list instead of an array. Other reasons to use an array list are if you need to keep insertion order or if you need any further functionality of the list. An array list is used to store a sequence of objects, which may be of different object types, and we do not need to declare the size of the array in advance. In addition, there is no limit to how many objects we store in the array list, and we do not have to remember how many objects are stored or were stored there, since we can use the size method to determine how many elements there are. Here's an example of using an array list. Here we have the array list being created. We add an integer, a double, and a string, something that would not be possible with an array. Let's run our code. As we can see, the random list was able to print out each different type. A set is a collection that cannot contain duplicate elements. It models the mathematical set abstraction. The set interface contains only methods inherited from collection and adds the restriction that duplicate elements are prohibited. Here's an example of using a set to remove duplicates from an array list. I'm going to create a list of duplicates. I'm going to add to this list a string with the value of apple. I'm going to add another element of value banana. And then I'm going to add another value of apple, again to duplicate it. Now I'm going to be creating my set using a new hash set. And I'm going to create it using the duplicates array list. Now using a for loop, I'm going to check the values of this hash set to see if it contains any duplicates. Here I'm going to be printing it to the console. Let's run our code. And as we can see, we only have one apple and one banana. We can see that our hash set has removed the duplicates in the list. This concludes our discussion of lists and sets in Java.